What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop. MLB DFS conversation starts right now, taking up the first pitch. We're going to take you up to crunch time. Crunch time starts around 6:10, 6:15. Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth. Always need Roth, but definitely need him today. I'll drop this weather report in chat for the people. We do have a orange game, straight orange, in Tampa. Texas Tampa is orange. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty clean. It is a big boy slate. It is a Chop. I'm not sure if you're ready for this. You don't even know this. Returning champion, head chopper. Chop, unprecedented. This has never been done in the history of GrindersLive, to my knowledge. So you're going to be telling your kids, your grandkids. Typically on Tuesday, you do all your prep. You study up for television Tuesday. Today, for the first time ever, Chop, Fleet Tuesday. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you excited?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Just I feel like I don't do enough athletes. So,
don't you do that on Thursday?
So this is actually the second Fleet Tuesday of the last month.
Well, TJ,
it doesn't even go with it's Fleet Thursday because the thus make it happen. No, well, I'm not happy about this. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not happy about this.
Producer Will actually coming in here to correct me. I was trying to get the people excited, that I couldn't tell how excited chat was, and I thought that I guess you'll be telling your grandkids about the second time Fleet Tuesday went down for sure, because the sequel is always better than the original. Yeah, the second ever Fleet Tuesday. I guess we don't do a lot of shows on Thursday. Typically, there's some small slates. Like there's probably a crunch time, but not a lot of GrindersLive depending on the schedule. So I don't get to do a lot of the athlete stuff. So I felt inspired is what I'm talking about, Chop. So that's what today is. It is a Fleet Tuesday. If you don't know what Fleet Tuesday is, if you played Fleet Thursday, it's the same game, just on Tuesday. It's just like Movie Monday. 5 clues. Tell me what athlete I'm talking about. Give the answer in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. And let's drop the first clue right away, right out the gate. Let's give the people that are showing up on time a reward. Today's first clue for Fleet Tuesday, an unprecedented Fleet Tuesday, it is pie. Pie is your first clue. Chop, how are things? Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, what's up, Dean? Tuesday, we're here. Big slate on Tuesday. Had to come with the big guns. No more Friday this month, I don't think. All Tuesdays.
This is the first ever Fleet Tuesday. We had a Fleet Wednesday.
Why would we ever? Dean, you're on mute. And why would we ever have? Maybe you need to stay on mute. Why would we ever have a Fleet Wednesday?
There was a Fleet Wednesday. There has never been a Fleet Tuesday.
There you go. Now you definitely write this down for the kids and the grandkids for sure. Well, if nothing else, this is the day that future Hall of Famer Jack Caglione makes his MLB debut. So get excited about that. I'm sure. Shout out to the Kansas City Royal fans. I'm sure they're getting about it because their offense has been pretty putrid. One of the biggest bats in the minors, hanging out there. Him and Anthony, I suppose, from Boston. But yeah, monster call up. He's not 2K. The site's sitting a complete goof on this. I think he's underpriced for what I think he's going to be at some point. Maybe not this year necessarily, but when it's a complete project. But yeah, MLB debut tonight of Jack Caglione. Get excited. Yeah, 12 gamer tonight, Chop. So not a lot of time for shenanigans. We can always work on shenanigans and nonsense, things that sort. Did we say hello to chat officially? I know we have the TJ dropped the weather report for people. And again, keep an eye on that Tampa game. It's currently orange. You're going to get this this time of year going forward probably with Tampa just because, this time of year, the humidity, the pop-up showers, that's just going to go down there in the St. Pete area. I live in Florida, not that far, well, hours away, but same sort of deal. They have a dome down here in Miami, obviously, but, just be aware. And Roth will come on in about an hour or so and give you some clarity, and it might go all the way up to the bell as far as how the weather's going to go down there in Tampa. And it might change mid-game, but Roth will give us the best read, the best advice possible. Chop, Tuesday, any general assessments as far as today's slate? It's weird, man. like if you just look at the names and forget like how well these players have been doing, how good or how bad, Spencer Strider looks like ridiculously cheap. And it's like we paid $11K for this guy in the past, probably 12, however expensive they made him in the past. He's all the way down with the 8.5 on DK. He hasn't been quite, his reputation. George Kirby's not been good this year. He's super cheap as well, taking on a Baltimore team that has, 3 of their regulars on the IL, the DL, IL. I had it right the first time, I believe. Both those guys have been scuffling. You're getting a bit of a discount. Carlos Rodon's been probably arguably the best pitcher. Oh, well, him, Hunter Green, like 1 and 1A, right? Green just a tougher environment. Tough to throw, tough to be a fly ball pitcher in the ballpark there in Cincinnati. But the key is you got to hit the ball, and he misses a lot of bats. So certainly, Green is one of the better options on the board. Of course, some good offenses out there that are lurking too. We'll talk about. Zach Gallen's been pretty terrible. I don't think you're rostering him, but maybe it's like stack against him with a team like Atlanta. How are you seeing the slate? How are you seeing the board? We did get a pitcher swap for Detroit. It looks like, is that pitcher not even going to be the long man anymore? I'm seeing Bo Brisky is now going to be pitching for Detroit. I think he's just an opener, though. Fairly certain he's a bullpen guy. Maybe it's a full-fledged bullpen game. But I know our projections guys removed. Oh, wait, is he? Yeah, Gibson Long was projected to start. And now it looks like his projection is removed altogether.
You sure about that?
In projections, I'm not sure. I just saw this, but somebody removed him in his projection, and I'm not sure if we know who's the long man there. I don't know how it matters.
Brisky's not a.
He's an inning or two guy, I think.
Yeah, so somebody's got to be a long relief anyway. So I would assume that it's just him starting, getting an inning, and then boom, Sawyer Gibson. I haven't heard anything.
Well, he was removed in projections, so maybe they heard something that I missed.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah. What I'm
so
getting
I don't know.
Maybe the projections are wrong, brother.
But that's possible too. Somebody actively said we got to kick this guy out of projections. So, we're still 2 hours out, so maybe this stuff changes. Actually, 2.5 hours as far as that game. He is facing the White Sox. I guess it's of note, but I don't really think he was necessarily on my radar per se.
No, but his numbers, his numbers are all tied to what you're perceiving you're getting for your batters to face. So it makes a difference. You know what I'm saying, Dean? Know what I'm saying?
Long. Well, I mean, you're not rostering. I don't think you're rostering the White Sox, no matter what. Basically, right? I don't think so.
I mean, you just said yesterday Vargas was on fire. I said he was on fire. You said he was really good. You never
He's been good. He's been good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not rostering, but it just, for the spreadsheet warriors like myself, Dean, when everything, you don't want the blank columns is what I'm saying. You don't want a bunch of blank columns on your sheet, man. You like to have everything filled out perfectly. So,
don't you usually make one lineup though? Why do you need why do you have to be a spreadsheet warrior if you make one lineup?
Excuse you, Dean. I do provide content for RotoGrinders, and I need to put my best effort into it, or else what's the point? The people can't trust me. If I'm not doing the spreadsheet for them, who am I doing it for? Like, you got to get.
I don't need. So I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know what you're looking at. So you build out your own spreadsheet.
Yeah, I got to, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I like to, as far as seeing the slate on the whole, I like to build out my own FanGraphs page. So I do that. But I'm not a spreadsheet warrior, I don't think does that qualify? Would that be under the umbrella? Are we cohorts?
Well, if you're not using a spreadsheet, you're not a spreadsheet warrior. If you're just using a site, then no, I don't think that qualifies. But if you click the export button on FanGraphs and you send it all to your CSV, technically you don't even you can just close it right away and claim to be a spreadsheet warrior, so you're good. Yeah.
Somebody let me know in chat, by the way, who's expected to be the long man for Detroit. Or maybe it's just a full-fledged bullpen game and they're just not projecting anybody beyond Brisky. All right. Overview. What are you seeing as far as the slates? We're expecting Betts to come back tonight. They kind of said that yesterday. He's dealing with that toe. He should be good to go against Tyler McGill. Almost a 5 total. Mets Dodgers, one of the bigger, I guess, premier matchups, if you will. Good environment as far as hitting baseballs once again in Sacramento. Pablo Lopez taking on Jacob Lopez. We saw Lopez really scuffle last time out in a similar environment in St. Pete, where it was hot and the ballpark is not great. I'm not saying to necessarily load up on the athletics, but, he just wasn't good in that particular environment. Pretty good in the season, obviously. Yeah, Strider is a really interesting conversation. If you think he's 90% of what he was, sure, sign me up. Why not? However, he's facing one of the best offenses in baseball in Arizona. It's also going to be hot in Atlanta, I believe. On Weather Edge, it has the fire emoji. Now, the fire emoji just means it's expected to be a certain temperature. Last I checked, fire emoji in Cincy. Fire emoji. Oh, they lost the fire emoji. I just hit refresh. This refreshes, I believe, every hour. So I've not done it in the last few minutes. So no fire. It's 85 is the temp expected in Atlanta. 87 in Cincy. So is that the threshold? I know I asked Roth about this before, but is it 87? When you hit 87, that's when you get the fire emoji in Weather Edge. Obviously one of the better ballparks to hit to homers just in general. And then you add in the heat. But again, Hunter Green, speaking of heat, he throws that heat. Taking out a Brewers team. No lineup just yet for Milwaukee. I'm not sure why we don't have that. Unless it just came out. It did. All right. Yeah. Okay. So they have a lineup. And who else just dropped theirs? The Mariners just dropped their lineups as well. Give me your overview, Chop. How are we seeing the slate here?
Yeah. We're seeing it, Dean. I want to get to a Carolina guy's question real quick in chat because he's our FanDuel guy. He loves a little FanDuel. He always tunes in for the Showdown football shows too, talking FanDuel. So I got to get to his question. He wants
100 days away, give or take.
His favorite FanDuel GPP loan pitcher. I mean, gosh, I can't get away from Rasmussen looking at the ownership numbers over there and on DraftKings. But even especially,
Orange doesn't scare you? Orange? You're not scared of straight orange? I'm scared.
We're about, let me see what time we're at, 4:12 Central Time right now. That game is more than 2 hours away. We all know weather is unpredictable up to a certain point. If it plays, it plays. Okay. So we'll see what Roth says. If Roth says more than likely it plays, I mean, you're getting a massive discount on ownership on a guy like that. If you don't want to take that chance, I still think that number is the ownership number projected is a little too light on Hunter Green over there too. I don't like the stadium necessarily, but he's the most physically dominant pitcher on the slate, and you're getting a pretty good number on him. So you go that route and all that good stuff. Let me see the slate overview. Yeah, it's a weird slate, man. There's some good arms. Not really any great arms, but there's not a whole lot of attackable spots. There's a couple, but not a whole lot. Not for like a big 12-game slate like this. So it's going to be a very interesting build if you're out there tonight. What about last night, Dean? And that's the thing about baseball. Put in all this work, make the right decisions, do all the stuff.
Carry bonds.
You just don't roster Kerry Carpenter. You know what I mean? You just don't roster him, and you couldn't find room for him, and boom, you ain't even cashing that. You ain't even cashing, Dean, because he's 27% owned on FanDuel. Crazy.
Shout out to me. I min cashed right on the bubble in the 121 without Kerry Carpenter. And for starters, I don't know how I didn't have him. I had like pieces of Detroit, and I make more than one lineup, and sometimes I forget which one I put in what contest. Because I'm under the gun and I'm cutting lineups off and splitting them off and that kind of thing. And I meant to have him in my main lineup. I didn't, but we still min cash somehow. I don't know how we got there in the min cash right in the bubble in the 121, and we'll take it. We salvaged the night. I think we were barely a little bit positive, but he was spectacular last night. Detroit, I think, one of the better teams on the slate once again. We saw Austin Matthews come back last night, stretching out that lineup, making look a little bit better. Torkelson's back as well for Detroit.
Oh, who? Who did you say came back?
Austin Matthews for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, Parker
Meadows.
Wow.
Wrong name, wrong sport.
Besides that, who am I thinking of? Wasn't there a guy that played
Parker
for
Meadows?
No. I was thinking of there's a Tampa Bay outfielder. I think he played for Detroit as well, and I think he had mental issues. He was pretty good the last several years, and just sort of like something happened mentally, and we never saw him again. It's either there's a Austin Meadows. I was thinking of Austin Meadows. I don't know why I was, but I think he played for Detroit as well. He was on Tampa. I don't hope he's doing well. I don't know where he's at now, but yes, my bad. Goof that one up.
Well, Dean, another question I want to answer is, first off, Jug Nation, rise up. Kirk Deese, Juggalo leader Kirk Deese is in chat. He wants to know what kind of knockers we're getting tonight. If I was going to play the movie game or the fleet game, and you're dropping clues on the knockers, my first clue would be, what kind of knockers are we getting? First clue, droopy. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know how to interpret that. I just don't know.
Exactly. It's kind of like your movie.
Well, yeah, clue number one. You yell my clues. It's just as good as my first clue. I don't know what to do with that.
Chat saying Parker Meadows and Austin Meadows are brothers.
Oh, okay, cool, good for them. And is yeah, all right. Is it somebody that's older? Maybe that's Mr. Relevant saying an older player, possibly. Not sure, but yeah, that's a fun game to play. Dangerous game to play, but I am kind of now. You got my curiosity. I'm trying to figure out what route you're going. Back to pitchers, Chop. I need you to hone in because I feel best about Carlos Rodon. It seems weird that he's the most expensive pitcher amongst, again, Hunter Green, amongst Spencer Strider, amongst George Kirby. But he's been arguably the best pitcher. If not him, it's Hunter Green. One of them has the highest K rate in the slate. I believe that is Rodon. It is Green right behind him. Green's got the best Sierra, the lowest Sierra. Rodon right behind him. And the thing is, if you look at that Cleveland lineup, the Guardians, and I was looking at this earlier today as far as plate IQ, and I'm like, I wonder, because I was also looking at their season-long numbers, and they were projecting to have a monster strikeout rate. I'm like, okay, let's see what we actually get as far as the lineup. And we got it. We got the right lineup for Rodon to face, where this is a lineup where he can strike out 9 or 10. Things are going pretty clean. Look at this Cleveland lineup. Yeah, obviously Quan is annoying, and J-Ram is annoying, and Santana. But besides that, the other 6, you got Big Christmas. When he hits it, the ball goes far, but he misses it a lot. 31% as far as strikeouts. Wilson, 30%. Arias, 35%. Fry is a one-game sample. One at-bat sample, 100%. So it's kind of skewing that number a little bit. I don't think he's a big contact guy. Let me stretch that to the last season for Fry. 22%, so a little bit of contact there. Point is, there are some Ks there, and obviously historically this Cleveland team, going back to last season, it's like, oh, well, they just don't strike out. A little bit more whiffs these days. So Rodon is my favorite pitcher, and I know he's the most expensive. I'm just finding a way. He's the one I feel most confident in. I trust his skill set right now in comparison to Strider, in comparison to Kirby. They kind of got to show me. Now, I'm not saying I won't roster those guys. I just feel better. And I know we're supposed to speak in ceiling, but I'm talking floor. But I think also, again, with this lineup, you have a great ceiling as well for Rodon. And then Green, of course. Green is electric when he's on. I think his velocity went down a tick, but still he's got a tick to give. 95, 96, whatever it is. I think he throws faster than that, actually. I'm cutting him short. But those are my 2 favorites. And there's somebody I was trying to talk myself into earlier in the day, and I don't think I'm going to get there, but I'm curious to get to if you bring them up. But can you sort through Rodon, Green, Strider, Kirby? Do you have like a clean 1 through 4 as far as those 4?
No, definitely not. Definitely not a clean 1 through. I really don't like the pitching that much at all tonight, which is crazy because you got 24 options to choose from, and I don't even like the offenses. A lot of the offenses. So you would think pitching would be better, but Rodon is the safest pick, and he has good upside too. So I definitely think you would rank him number 1. And Cleveland, like you said, they have they slashed their payroll in the offseason. Making the playoffs, I guess, wasn't good enough for them, and being close in the playoffs to advance and wasn't good enough. They went in and slashed payroll and got rid of some good hitters, and now you're left with a lineup that does strike out quite a bit. So Rodon is fine. Hunter Green,
imagine they kept Lindor, by the way. Lindor and J-Ram.
Ooh,
Just like a random thought, like he's awesome. Yeah, imagine, and like they don't have anything at shortstop, but yeah, I understand why they do it. I guess sort of, but
yeah,
they miss him.
It's a money game. Hunter Green has obviously, I think, debatable, but not really. Probably the most arm talent of anybody on this entire slate, and so he's always going to be in the mix there. I don't think Milwaukee's all that potent on offense, and Green needs to get his form back to where it was earlier in the year, but I think it'll come. And then, like I said, obviously you're scared of the weather, but if we're
I'm not scared of it. I'm cautious of it. And like you said, if Roth gives us the maybe 50-50 and you're playing large field stuff, sure, whatever. Also, they baby Rasmussen, so if there's any sort of delay and he's at like 65, 70 pitches, he's probably not coming back.
Certainly. Well, that's the thing you look for in Roth's wording when you're reading the weather, and as it pertains to, if he's talking about in-game delays, you never want a pitcher. Not just Rasmussen, but any pitcher you don't want. But if he says, if he says it should be clear at some point to play the game through, I think Rasmussen would be like, I think he'd probably be third on my list. I think he's piecing it together. He's had injury problems in his career, as has a lot of Tampa pitchers. But man, he's starting to 6 innings, 3 straight games, no earned runs the last 3 starts. He's a solid workhorse. And this Texas lineup, we've kind of talked about it multiple times this year, just not that good. It's really, people are still like grasping at that 2023 World Series run where they had this awesome lineup. But like I've said before, at some point here after that, they stopped cheating. So they're just not as good anymore at hitting the ball.
The hypocrisy for you to point that out, but continue.
Relax, Dean. My goodness. Pablo Lopez is good. Don't like the game environment, though, obviously, out there in Sacramento where they play. So that's not George Kirby. If we could get a little bit of semblance of the old George Kirby, this Baltimore offense can certainly be had these days. We just need him to get back to throwing strikes like he usually does, and he'll be all right. There's some good pitchers in some bad game environment. Sanchez, Toronto's on fire offensively, and it's a tough venue to pitch at. Otherwise, he'd be on the radar. But you got that. If you cheap strikeouts, Kikuchi's always in the mix to give up some runs. He's not great at run prevention, but man, he can offset that with a massive strikeout game when he gets it rolling. In this Boston lineup, if you look at it, our own Kirk Deese, Boston homer, pointed it out earlier. It just doesn't look the same without Bregman. There's a lot of spots in there where you can rack up some strikeouts. So he got that going for you. I know. Okay, I'm gonna mention a couple names here, Dean. This is way off the radar. I'm not playing this guy, but man, Tyler McGill has some awesome stuff. It's a tough spot against the Dodgers, but it's not a bad hitting environment tonight. I mean, it's not a bad pitching environment. Not great for hitting. LA's kind of hit or miss like that. I mean, if you're feeling up to it, man, this guy has big time strikeout potential. If you think he can get through a couple of those batters in that order, he could do some things. And then the guy that I haven't mentioned that everybody keeps mentioning, I guess he's chalk, Dean. I haven't seen the updated numbers. Spencer Strider, is that what we're talking about? Is he chalk, Dean?
He's just really cheap. Yeah, like you look at that name and you look at the price, and it's like how. Now, we haven't quite seen the Spencer Strider, Cy Young winner, Spencer Strider.
Yeah, we have not, Dean. You know why that is after the injury? Because before he left with the injury, his fastball was, consistently 97, 98. He's barely topping 95 now. So until he can get that velocity back, I don't think he's in play. I won't play him. Like when he starts to show an uptick, I'm trying to pull up his last start, but I'm not on the right page.
It's not in the spreadsheet?
It is, but I got so much going on, Dean. Man, my drop down menus aren't working, but I got it right here. So I'm sorry, that wasn't it. Apologize. No, look here, Dean. We're talking about his four-seamer, 2022, 98, 98, 23, 97, 97 plus. Right before the injury, he's hovering around there. He's come back this year in all his starts. He's averaging 95 on his fastball. That ain't going to cut the mustard right there, Dean. The slider is also used to be a big time out pitch for him. Not nearly as effective right now after post-injury. So I would imagine at some point he gets it back, but I'm not playing that tonight, man. I'm not playing. Arizona's they're a frisky bunch on offense. They've got the record doesn't reflect how solid that offense is. So I'm out on Spencer Strider, price drop and all. I'm passing on him, man.
It's tough. I'll play some, but I'm a little apprehensive. Like he could lose a little bit on his fastball, I guess, but it does matter. Somebody asking in chat who has the fastest pitch in baseball. It's mostly relievers. I think Mason Miller's the top guy, or Duran. As far as starters, though, it's Hunter Green. He throws triple digits sometimes. By the way, shout out to Jay Mammon in chat, says next clue. What's going on, Diener? You're right.
Goodness gracious. Yeah.
I didn't want to cut Chop off. Chop was doing his thing, giving the people some advice. But producer TJ is all over it. He's got the second clue already scrolling. It is bird. So pie and bird. Now, again, if you just joined us now, this is an unprecedented. It's a Fleet Tuesday. So this is not a television show. Get your answers in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. Fastest pitch thrown this year is from Aroldis Chapman. Yeah, he's like 37 and still doing it. Pretty impressive. 103.8. You never really know who has a hot gun and who doesn't, right? As far as the different ballparks seem to be a little hotter than others. But yeah, 103.8 is pretty absurd. All right. Well, you did mention, I saw the McGill. I was looking at his splits. I don't know how real it is, but 35.5% Ks versus righties this year. 121 hitters. It's not a ton. Just interesting. But, the Dodgers are a ton of power, pretty good contact. Really patient, so it's tough to pick on him. I was trying to make I know the chat will like this. I was trying to make Kikuchi happen. Just he walks everybody, Chop. His last start, 5 walks. Before that, 4 walks. Before that, 4 walks. And you're basically the survival of your lineup of Kikuchi. It's like, does he give up that 3-run homer? And the monster is right there. I know this Boston lineup's not very good. He's been very lucky. As far as his ERA, he's got a 3.06 ERA, but a 4.76 Sierra. 83% left on base. Really good as far as homer to fly ball at 9.1%. Just 12.3% walks is terrible. And again, that's if he doesn't give up that 3-run homer, he probably is fine because he probably strikes out 6 or 7, and he's pretty cheap. And I just don't know if I want to know if my lineup survives on that 3-run homer. And I was trying to make that happen. I don't know. It's in my back pocket if I need a couple extra hitters, but in theory, I don't think I want to do that. We have Kirkwood in chat. Is he talking about Bido? He's not playing tonight, is he? Did I miss something? What's Kirkwood talking about? Am I missing something?
I thought Bido was listed as some kind of a reliever tonight.
Is he coming? He's on Sacramento, right?
The Athletics.
Yeah. He hasn't pitched since couple.
I think maybe he's. Around? I actually know. I think I've heard something where he might be like the starter, followed by Lopez. But I mean, I don't know, Dean. I hate it when they do this kind of stuff.
He says he loves Maverick Hanley, who's a backup catcher for for Baltimore.
Bido just got called up today from AAA, but he is expected to pitch out of the bullpen going forward.
Okay. Yeah, he was terrible when he was up in the big leagues. So I don't know. I think Kirkwood's doing a bit because he said Maverick Hanley, who's really bad. He's the backup catcher for Baltimore. And again, the Kirby thing, he's been terrible also, and historically incredible pinpoint control. The control. Oh, he's impersonating Eric. Okay, that's what's going on. I missed the beginning of his bit. Okay, that makes much more sense. Thank you for clarifying. Again, this Baltimore lineup is without Mullins, Mountcastle, and there's a third guy. They called up Cowser. I mean, if these guys are actually good, like Cowser's supposed to be good at some point, Mayo is supposed to be good at some point. Rushman's been terrible this year. But, great ballpark to throw baseballs in as well. So maybe Kirby can finally have his first good start of the season. Anything else we want to note here as far as pitchers? I saw somebody in chat mention Bayo. A lot of ground balls. I'll give him that. But he just never can seem to, put together complete starts. The K's at 16% and the walks at 12%. Like, what am I doing with that? I can't do that. And the Angels have legit power. And the monster out there lurking. So I don't think I'm in on Bayo. I saw somebody mention Palante. I love the ground balls, ton of ground balls. But this Royals team is pretty contact heavy. They obviously got better. They had to get better with the addition of Caglione. So I don't think I'm going there. I don't see a ton of upside for Palante. On the season, his Ks are 15.9%. This Royals lineup is, 17%. Do we not have Palante in there? Is he batting sixth? Is that where he landed? So I see the sixth spot was skipped. Yeah. Okay. Caglione I'm talking about. All right. Give me the summary here, Chop, as far as pitchers. We'll talk some stacks here, unless you got anything else. Anything else you want to focus on, or just give me the old summary when it comes to arms.
Summary would be, I think your safest all-around bet is a guy like Carlos Rodon. There's a next tier after him with guys like Hunter Green in there, Pablo Lopez, maybe a George Kirby kind of guy. There's a lot of solid pitchers after Rodon that you could play, and probably don't lose too much ceiling on any of them. There's some long shots you could take, like Christopher Sanchez, Kikuchi, long shots in GPPs, McGill, Landon Roop. And then there's the last half of that is just a bunch of junk you don't want to touch. But altogether, the big overview is I really don't think, outside of Carlos Rodon, I don't think you lose a lot at pitcher with any of the guys you're going to roster. Avoiding the bottom part of the trash heap. But Rodon's, I think, your safest bet and has a tick of upside above just about everybody else except for Hunter Green too.
Ownership-wise on DK, we have Rodon coming in at 29%, Strider 28%, Green 22%, Kirby 19%, Lopez 14%, Kikuchi is the cheap one at 14%, Bayo at 12%, your boy Rasmussen at 10%. We didn't even mention Freddie Peralta, 9%, Sanchez at 8%. Everybody else is obviously lower than that. It is not Jalen Hurts, Chop. It's a good guess, but the fleet is not Jalen Hurts. I saw somebody guess in the chat Larry Bird. No, what was the one I liked? Oh, somebody guessed Randy Johnson. Famously had an issue. He famously had a moment, with a bird. He's a professional photographer now. Him and Ken Griffey are both professional photographers. You think they talked about photography like 30 years ago when they were teammates?
Yeah, maybe.
They obviously don't. They just both enjoyed it. They have a good time. I don't know if you saw Griffey.
Is it Mark Fidrich?
It is not Mark the Bird Fidrich. But if it was, you would have just ruined the game, Chop.
I knew it wasn't, man. I knew it wasn't. There's no way you would give. Then you don't give on Clue 2. You don't give the guy's nickname.
No,
I know the game better than that.
Yeah, you understand. You better, even though it's a Tuesday, you know how the game is played. Let's drop that third clue. We'll talk about some stacks here in a second. The third clue is tree. So it's pie, bird, and tree.
Whoa. Now we had tree yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily a callback. Oh, I did want to say some people like the extreme umpire stuff. We have a lot of extremes. Do want to acknowledge that. So extreme hitters umpires today for Jacob Lopez, for Ryan Bergert, Bowden Francis. Good luck, Bowden Francis, who gives up the most homers in all of baseball. Like 3.5 per 9 versus lefties, by the way. Have you heard of Kyle Schwarber? Pablo Lopez also has extreme hitters umpire. Landon Roop extreme hitters. Sanchez, of course, the other side of that game, Philadelphia and Toronto extreme hitters umpire. Now, there are some extreme pitchers. There are 2 extreme pitchers umpires today. George Kirby gets one of them. Carlos Rodon gets the other one. Tanner Bybee and Sagano as well. All right. That is pitching. We'll check to see if I know TJ's on top and I'm on top of it. Seeing if anybody has today's Fleet Tuesday. And you know what? We do have a winner. We'll give out the next two clues, but Tree Rollins is a great guess. It's not Tree Rollins. Nobody knew his real name. Wayne apparently was his real name. Okay.
Well, somebody got it, Dean. I'm just going to guess for you. Is it Deion Branch?
It is not Deion Branch. That's good too. That's a really good guess. I like that guess. I never gave TJ the answer. Is what I have realized. So TJ couldn't. I gave him the 5 clues, so maybe he can piece it together and work backwards. But
all right. My guess was Randy Johnson.
Oh, that's a good guess, but it's not Randy Johnson. I just let you know. If you don't want to reveal it just yet, we'll give out the other clues, and some people have fun with it. But we'll shout out a winner soon enough. Okay, so today's tiers, Chop. I'm sure you saw. The people saw. Saquon Barkley is going to be on the cover of the new Madden. So we are power ranking Madden athletes. The new Madden game, Saquon Barkley, and I'm not sure if they used the image. They actually recreated it of him doing the backwards hurdle, Chopper. So that was today's tier ranking. We kind of did these collectively. So basically, the best Madden cover athletes. John Madden was on the cover for like the first 6 years, first 7 or 8 years, something like that. And they started incorporating other people with Madden, and eventually they phased them out and became a thing, like a marketing thing to see who's going to be on the cover the next season, who's the next player to get hurt, that kind of thing. Does Chop believe in, or maybe that could be today's poll question, do the people believe, is the Madden curse real? Is the Madden curse a real thing? Chop?
It's a good one, Dean. There's a lot of like examples of guys who got cursed after being on there. So I don't know. Has anybody been on the cover of Madden and then that following year gone out and had a spectacular year and won the Super Bowl? I don't think so.
Mahomes, maybe? Was Mahomes on the cover when he had a good year? Possibly.
That's a good example against the Madden.
Did he get hurt afterwards? I don't remember. I don't know the lineage.
I mean, at a certain point, probably after the Madden cover, he totally went to.
Devin says he's got me. He says Mahomes broke the curse. So I guess Mahomes is the guy.
How did he break the curse? His numbers are terrible. He's been terrible quarterback since he went on the cover, hadn't he?
They won a championship.
Yeah, I mean, right? So did Trent Dilfer. Don't mean he was great.
Trent Dilfer is never on the cover of Madden.
But he won a championship with a great defense.
The Madden curse was first obliterated by none other than, many people forget, but I think at worst, the second best receiver of all time in the NFL,
Moss?
Calvin Johnson. If there's anybody behind, he's behind Moss. And then both Mahomes and Brady had good years when they were on it.
Have you heard of Jerry Rice by chance, TJ?
Yeah, I'd put Jerry Rice behind Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss.
Okay. I mean, Calvin retired a lot younger. Rice played into his 40s, and he was good in his 40s. But, all right, fair enough. Debate for another day.
Rice undoubtedly the better career. I'm just talking like peak at their prime. I would pick Calvin Johnson over Jerry Rice. For their career, knowing how long they'd play, obviously Rice over Johnson. Maybe
that's today's poll question. TJ, you got to make a poll for the people. Pick whatever poll question you want. Duncan in chat says it's a terrible take. Nick says bad take, TJ. Derek wants to know what you're smoking. So, I guess we know where that poll's going to go, at least according to that small sample. So, today's board, we put – I don't know how much Madden you played back in the day, or if you still play, Chop. Are you a Madden guy? Are you a gamer in any capacity?
No.
So, Michael Vick was like the most fun player to play with. Like the running mobile quarterback. He was a lot of fun, and he has one of the more memorable covers. So we put Vick up top. You lobbied for the combination of Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald. You showed me that picture. You're like, yeah, that's a pretty sweet picture. That is in the 2-hole. We got Saquon Barkley in the 3-hole. Again, spectacular. Good idea, having him Obviously one of the more memorable plays. Didn't really gain much more yards, but so he's in the 3-hole, the backwards, leap. We got Brett Favre in the 4-hole, and then inexplicably Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis, one year wonder. I think was he good for more than 1 year? I don't remember, but it wasn't a long run for Peyton Hillis. He was on the cover of Madden, like for real. Google it; it happened. That is our board. It was just him. It wasn't like him and like 7 other dudes. It was just Peyton Hillis. Steve wants to know why I know Ray Lewis. Well, you just can't put everybody on the board, unfortunately. But yeah, he was another one that received some votes, but just not enough votes to get there. Anything we want to say here about the board, or shall we scoot along? Hey, it's Emac. What's up, Emac? Emac hanging out in chat.
No, it's not the Emac.
I think it is.
Nah, it's a fake Emac. There's there's a bootleg head chopper or whatever.
There's a bootleg Emac?
There's like a foot chopper out there. I don't believe that's the real
What could
Emac.
you ask Emac that he would know the answer to? So you know he's legit.
His favorite college football team.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure I know I know the general region, and I'm fairly certain.
That might be Emac right there. Only Emac says stuff like that.
Emac says head chopper is so cool he makes dry ice sweat.
He hit it, Washington. Yeah, that's the real Emac. So I also want to say about this board right here. We just spoke about wide receivers. Larry Fitzgerald, the most underrated wide receiver of all time, even though he does get plenty of props. He doesn't get enough props. Larry Fitzgerald was great, legitimately great, from day one all the way until he retired.
I'm trying to think. I don't disagree with that. He was awesome, really durable too. I'm trying to think who else would be on the board of most underrated receivers, and I did a quick Google. I want to see if there's anybody I'm missing. Donald Driver is popping up. Anquan Boldin's a good one. People kind of forget how good he was.
Good too.
Marcus Colston.
Oh, I mean, okay. And TJ, follow-up question: who's your favorite football team?
Which is why I know that he's underrated by everybody else.
Yeah.
How many career yards do you think Marcus Colston has, Dean?
7,800.
Could I just say that the Marcus Colston thing, when he first came in his rookie year and he was really good, he had tight end eligibility on some of the fantasy sites, man. And
yeah,
that was pretty spectacular.
9,759 career yards, Dean.
Egg on my face. Was I not close enough to the pin? Do I get the
showcase? You underrated him by 2,000 yards.
Fair enough. All right, let's. Rod Smith actually is the number one guy. Several people saying Rod Smith in chat, and he's the number one guy that, according to Heavy.com, is the first thing that I came up to. But apparently, he is the most underrated receiver of all time. Played for Denver. All right, let's throw some teams in some tiers. We can drop that fourth clue as well. We did get a winner. The fourth clue for today's unprecedented Fleet Tuesday is 2 first names. 2 first names. All right. Let's talk about it, Chop. Let's throw some teams in some tiers. The first teams we're talking about: Cleveland, the Yankees, Carlos Rodon, one of the more popular pitchers in the slate. The Yankees, kind of a low team total for them. It's less than 5. Rice is back in there versus the righty. We got Jazz. Jazz is back too. They have their backup catcher, though. Escara's in there. It's not Austin Wells. He is out. Bybee versus Rodon. Rodon a minus 200 favorite here. How are we seeing it, Chopper? Yankees, Guardians.
Is it Derrick Henry?
No, it's not Derrick Henry. That's 2 first names, though. That's good. That's good. You're getting there, but it is not. It is not Derrick.
And he plays for the Ravens. That could have been Bird.
He doesn't play for the Ravens. But I will tell you this: the Ravens. It is football, though. I will tell you it's football. There you go. For those that are still playing, it's a football player.
Tree didn't a John Henry cut down a tree or something. So Henry tree. I'm just trying to get in Dean's head here, man. But. All right, Cleveland against Rodon. That's a no-go for me. That's a tier 5, no doubt about it. I don't want any piece of that. New York, just out of respect for a pretty solid lineup. Tanner Bybee doesn't jump off the charts. I'm going to put New York Yankees in tier 2. Like I said, it's a really good lineup, and he's not a shutdown elite pitcher or anything. So at home, they're always going to be a threat for you to stack. So tier 2 for the Yankees.
By the way, Dodgers lineup just came out. Betts officially back. No Edman. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Teoscar, Smith back in the lineup. Muncy, Pages down to the 7-hole, Conforto, and Kim. All right, moving on. Philadelphia, Toronto, Bowden Francis, Christopher Sanchez. Speaking of football, you know this probably, Chop. Bowden from Tallahassee, named after Coach Bobby Bowden. Dude gives up a lot of homers, a lot of power. The biggest number in all of baseball as far as pitchers that have qualified with 50 more innings on the season. Nobody gives up more homers per 9. He gives up 3.5 per 9 versus lefties. Harper, Schwarber, Kepler's got some pop as well. Stott leading off. He also has an extreme hitters umpire. I love Philly today. Philly might end up being my single entry team. I'm debating between Philly and Atlanta. I think it's going to be Philly. We'll see. Your thoughts? Sanchez versus Francis. Francis, where are you at?
Toronto versus Sanchez. Like I said, Toronto's kind of hot, and they're at home, and it's a good hitting environment. So I'll put them in tier 3. I mean, Sanchez is pretty good too, but I don't want to pick on that matchup too much. So the Bowden Francis thing I find very interesting, Dean. I'm going to put Philly. I can't quite. I'm not quite going to go tier 1, so I'm going to go tier 2 on Philly. But here's the thing that I like. Anything could happen in these. I could tell you Kyle Schwarber is going to hit a home run, and I feel good about it. And then they go out and 3 other guys hit a home run that's not Kyle Schwarber. It just happened, and Francis was bad or whatever, and but it just didn't get there. It just didn't happen for Kyle Schwarber. But when I do technically speaking, Kyle Schwarber has just an absolutely elite matchup here as an individual. I like the stack, but Kyle Schwarber feasts on fastballs high in the zone. That's kind of what Bowden Francis does with his 4-seamer, puts it high in the zone. It's not a great pitch. There's a pretty good chance he can turn on one tonight, and he's got to be the odds-on favorite in this lineup by a pretty wide margin to hit a home run tonight. So I really like Schwarber, but I really like this stack in general.
I was going to say odds-on favorite on the slate, but maybe him and Judge are kind of neck and neck. If you were the 1-1, if we're just drafting guys at homers and there's no reward for picking people off the board. I know Schwarber's crushed lefties this year as well, but historically, obviously, a little bit better against righties. And Francis just seems outmatched. It's going to be fairly cool in Toronto. I'm not sure if that roof is open or not. I was trying to give a Google and get an answer, but I did not get an answer.
I can find out for you, Dean.
Yeah.
I have a source. Source.
I got the internet too, but I don't have
a source out there in Toronto.
You got a Toronto guy? You got a roof guy?
TJ DM me.
Milwaukee taking on Cincinnati. 8.5 is a total. Hunter Green, one of the more popular pitchers in the bump. Freddie Peralta, pretty good historically. It's going to be hot in Cincy, and of course, this is the small park, so decent chance of some homers leaving the ballpark here. Although Green historically has had some issues versus some lefty power. What do you got, TJ?
The roof is open tonight in Toronto.
I don't like that. I wish it was closed because I think it's pretty cool. I think it's in the 60s. American. I'm pretty sure. Chop, Cincy, Milwaukee, what do you got?
I'm not really what do you mean by cool, Dean? What do you classify as cool? 70?
60s?
It's going to be in
coolish?
70s.
Am I wrong?
High 60s, low 70s between the 3 hours going. But I don't know if you were aware of this, Dean, but in Toronto, that roof is actually open about 56% of the time.
Not 57 and not 55, but precisely 56?
No. Yeah, well, yeah, they do keep track of this kind of stuff. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So it's usually open, actually.
You got a guy, yeah.
Yeah, I got a guy. Who are we on here? What game are we on?
Toronto and Milwaukee and Cincinnati.
Milwaukee, Cincy. Well, I got to get my sheet in order, Dean. I messed it up earlier looking for your. But this is an easy game though, right here. Peralta and Green. What do I mean, come on now. I'm 24 teams to choose from. I don't need to pick on these guys. Milwaukee's a tier 5, Cincy's a tier 4. Good pitching.
Cincy tier 4, Milwaukee tier 5. You had Philly in tier 2, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there's no tiers, no teams in Michael Vick just yet. Angels, Red Sox, Bayo, Kikuchi, 9.5 total. We saw the Angels go off last night. They dropped, a 6 spot in the first inning, I believe, last night.
Did I get Brewers and Reds right? I didn't hear an official answer for that one.
Brewers 5, Cincy 4. I believe that's what Chop said. So 9.5. Pretty big total here. Good ballpark as well. Temperature in the 70s for Boston and the Angels. Bayo taking on Kikuchi. Neto just keep getting it done.
He's
man.
good.
He's good. He's a good player.
I can't believe you min cashed and survived the Joe Adele multiple homer game.
Nobody played Adele in single entry last night.
Good. I mean, Trout was back. He's looking like he's regaining some form. It could be a decent lineup. But tonight we're going against where are we at? The Angels getting a piece of Bayo. He hasn't had great numbers, but I like where his arsenal of stuff. So I'm not all that high on him. Actually, both these teams are going to be in tier 3 for me. The Angels, because Bayo, I think, is respectable enough that I don't want to go out on a limb and stack them too much. Boston's in tier 3 because I don't like the lineup right now. When I look at it and it's got some pieces missing, I kind of don't want that. So I'm going to head down to and plus you getting Kikuchi there. Who your best hitters for Boston right now are probably left-handed hitters, Duran and Devers. Kikuchi, a left-hander who actually does pretty well against left-handers, shuts them down at a pretty decent rate. Just not a stack I want to go above and beyond on, so pretty neutral on it, tier 3.
Again, my fear is that he just walks 2 guys and a 3-run homer for like Ref Snyder or something like that. I've got to bounce back and forth in Kikuchi. I understand why he's getting some ownership. By the way, Grant Holman is throwing baseballs tonight professionally for the Athletics. That is your starter. I don't know if that's somebody that's going to eat a lot of innings. I don't know if that's just an opener situation. I have to do a little bit more. He's 4K, so I think he's in the pitcher pool. Going to pull that up on the fly, see if we can figure out if that's somebody that's actually expected to throw a fair bit. Okay, and who he is. All right, we're moving on. We're talking about Texas and Tampa. No, we're talking about the Diamondbacks at Atlanta, 8.5 total. Zach Gallen, he's been pretty bad. I was looking at like ERA of pitchers that I know ERA, but ERA of pitchers that have thrown like at least 55 or 60 innings in the season. It's like the second or third worst in the season. It's really bad. A 1.4 WHIP is not good either. This Atlanta team, they got Acuna back. Drake Baldwin looks like a legit hitting catcher. He's batting second. He's no longer cheap, at least on DK. He's pretty cheap on FanDuel. It's like 2.5 or 2.6. And then Spencer Strider on the other side, who we're not really sure if he's Spencer Strider just yet. And Arizona, they can make you pay. They can make you pay for sure. That offense is pretty good. One of the better offenses in baseball. And it's going to be, in the 80s here in Hotlanta. Not full-on Hotlanta, but in the 80s. D-backs, Braves, what do you got?
Yeah, Gallen not great, but not bad either. So I'm not really all that interested in an Atlanta stack. Pretty neutral. That's a tier 3. And I gave my speech about Spencer Strider and why I wouldn't roster him because the velocity dips and the slider having issues, getting people out like it used to. So I definitely don't want to play him, but doesn't mean I want to like go out of my way to stack a bunch against him. Although that would be a great GPP stack, man, get you against Strider. So I'm going tier 3 for Arizona also.
By the way, Grant Holman, just an opener for the Athletics. He pitched an inning a couple days ago, pitched 2/3 of an inning in the 30th. So, we're talking about an inning, essentially, for Holman. I did see TJ, great minds, being Spidey, I guess I should say. The first Spidey bomb that is scrolling was Max Kepler. Max Kepler was my random off-the-board homer today in the survey. I do love lefty power against Bowden Francis. I think it was 5-1 or so. I think that was the number that TJ posted, which seems pretty interesting. Keep hitting that like button, subscribing, turn on notifications, doing all that. Every 50 likes, you're getting yourself another Spidey Bomb. 20 minutes or so, we're getting Kevin Roth coming on. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth going to give you an update as far as Tampa, as well as Derek Carty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz. And then TJ is going to be spinning some more plates. He'll be turning into an analyst as well. All right. Next up is Texas and Tampa. Last we saw is that game was orange. I'm not sure if Roth has changed it. It is fluid, whether that is. But yeah, you were talking about delays. He actually wrote a delay of some sort looks likely. Postpone looks legitimately possible. And then he said, well, we'll see. We'll get an update as far as radar. But of note, I guess, Texas, I imagine this is their only time visiting Tampa, St. Pete. So they probably want to get this in, if not today, tomorrow. They're not, in the same division. They're not going to see each other very often. Molly taking on Rasmussen. I know we like Rasmussen. It's so weird, Chop, how we all would just completely ignore how good Molly's been this year. It's you have he's got a 1.64 ERA. It's good for you. I'm never going to roster you. Congratulations. 1.64 ERA in 66 innings. However, he's got a 2.9% homer to fly ball, and 86% left on base. And this is with 18.5% Ks, 9.3% walks. The K is too low. The walk's too high. The Sierra is 4.54, which is a massive, just an outrageous difference. Regression Monster at some point is knocking on Tyler Molly's door. Maybe tonight, I don't know. But there's not a more fraudulent thing tonight than Tyler Molly's 1.64 ERA. However, your thoughts as far as tonight, the Rays and the Rangers, what do you got?
Yeah, two good pitchers here. Molly, say what you want, but I think he's all right. Let me get my okay. Looking at the ballpark, I think the weather might have changed on me a little bit. So that changed on me. So it's still this is a tough one, Dean. But I'm going to put Texas in tier 4 because. I'm okay. Aside from the rain and the rain out, I'm just dealing with stacks right now. And would I or would I not, if there was no rain, Texas at tier 4 against Rasmussen. I just don't want to take that on. He's a really, really talented pitcher. I want to say over the last 2 years, the second lowest Sierra on this entire slate. He has good arm talent. So don't want to take that on in a stack. That's a tier 4. Tampa would be a team if we get the green light on the weather. I think they're a tier 3. I'm pretty neutral on them. It's a good hitter's park here. It's a good hitter's environment. The weather, even though I don't think Roth can list it because there's not enough data on this park, and it's a different, I don't know, whatever his thing is about not being able to list some parks, right? But it is a good hitter's park, and the weather's not bad. So for this game tonight. I think they're a tier 3 Tampa, just because even though he has good numbers, Mally, but it's a good hitter's environment.
Yeah, I'd like to know if Roth is building up a sample. If we're ever going to get at some point, we have a sample to actually get some data from that ballpark.
And this was an Atlanta thing last year, wasn't
and it was a new ballpark for a couple of years.
Yeah, so yeah. I don't know what his deal is there, man. What's the deal with Roth? I'm going to do my Seinfeld bit. What's the deal with Roth? And he just can't figure out how to do the ballparks right.
Bo Brisky, who has got to be just an opener here.
What were the final thoughts of those two, sorry?
Texas 4 for Texas, 4 for Texas, 3 for Tampa.
Perfect.
Bo Brisky, Shane Smith, the White Sox taking on Detroit. Detroit broke the slate last night. We got Vinny Capra, I think, actually pitched the 9th inning. He pitched a clean 9th. He's hitting 9th today for the White Sox. Man. Detroit, we got Torkelson back in that lineup. Parker Meadows, we saw he came back. First game of the season was spectacular. We saw Kerry Carpenter break the slate with 3 dingers. And speaking of dingers, Dingler hit a dinger as well. Down in the 7 hole. Yeah, Detroit had a big night. That bullpen there is pretty rough. Shane Smith's not terrible, but, that bullpen's rough and you're locked in for 9. Where do you have Detroit and the White Sox?
Detroit, the White Sox. Okay, so Shane Smith against Detroit, who had all these home runs last night. Shane Smith not terrible. He's not terrible. He will give up some hard contact, but he does more or less limit the home runs against him. So I'm not super in love with the Detroit stack. I think, I'm going to put them in tier 3. They definitely have potential these days, a lot more potential than they had last year. But that's a tier 3 for me. The White Sox, just not a good offense outside of maybe one, maybe two guys. But one guy, probably Vargas, is the best hitter you got. It's a tier 4, the White Sox. I just don't want them anything. You get a team like Detroit, man. And with a smart manager and a deep bullpen, and if your starter even has a even remotely bad game, starting to do bad things, he's going to get him out of there. So you're not really going to get a lot of activity against any particular bad pitcher for multiple innings. So it's just tough to stack against a team like Detroit. In fact, Dean, that's next show. I need to do some research on stacks against Detroit as a whole.
Okay.
With good bullpen, or at least all the good bullpens out there. Stacks as a whole, like how much does that good bullpen stifle a stack when it's looking good in the first 2 or 3 innings? You know what I mean? So, I'd be curious on that.
No matter how good Brisky is pitching, he's not going to go beyond 2 innings. Maybe he only stops at 1. He's basically a 1 or 2 inning guy. And the chat is calling me out saying I used to say his name differently. Bo Brasky. Which I don't know if you're old enough. You remember the old SNL bit. Bill Brasky? Bill Brasky? I think it was Bill Brasky. Google that one, kids. But, yeah, I guess I didn't say it I didn't say it fun this time. My apologies. By the way, Chop, you never gave us a second clue for the knockers. Well, what's the second clue? So think about that as I set up the next game for you. Kansas City, St. Louis, Andre Palante taking on Michael Lorenzen. We have a St. Louis as the favorite here, minus 155. Palante, a really good ground ball pitcher. The headline here, of course, is the debut, the MLB debut of Jack Caglione. Looks like he's in the 6th spot here. He's not 2K, but he's 3.5 on DK. I think he's like 2.5 or 2.6 on FanDuel. Still very affordable. Your thoughts, Royals, Cardinals?
A little bit more interesting offensive game. First of all, Kansas City, I still don't like the offense, but I don't hate the matchup, and I don't hate the hitting environment tonight out there in St. Louis. So Kansas City is going to be a tier 3 for me, when usually I would not even put them past tier 4. But
I don't want to call you out, Chop. This is I'm just speaking on behalf of the chat. 3 is like the hedge tier, and they're saying you're hedging a lot.
I would also inform the chat. There's 24 teams, so there's an extra big dose of teams. So there's going to be a lot of neutral stuff tonight, and only that's the thing about neutrals is they usually don't make your lineup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Neutral.
I was just speaking on behalf of the chat. That wasn't me saying that.
That's fair enough. But with 24 teams, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you find to be neutral, or it's about the goods. The 1s and the 2s is what you're really looking for. Anything else, kind of throw it out, Dean. But it's a good hitting environment tonight out there in St. Louis. That's why I like the Cardinals in tier 2. That's why I like the Cardinals against you talked earlier. You said Mahle was due for a little bit of like maybe regression falling off. I keep on thinking the same thing about Michael Lorenzen. He's not. He's pitched pretty respectable, but he's not this good. I like St. Louis in tier 2 tonight.
So I think the weather did change in St. Louis. I'm giving you a refresh on the weather edge. They have the fire emoji now, which means we're talking about 86 as far as the temp. It's not a huge sample, 32 games. But in 32 games, 13 mile per hour winds going out the left center, 65 is the due. A bump in homers at 27%, and bump in runs at 6%. So, yeah, maybe that's kind of a sneaky one. Palante is weird though. He just throws a bunch of ground balls, but the balls that get in the air against him have gone over the fence. I'm trying to pull that up on the fly. Like 19% fly balls, but 23.7% as far as homer to fly ball. So, despite being a ground ball savant, he's given up 1.31 homers per 9. Which is kind of interesting. Okay, moving on. By the way, the fifth clue, Chop, for today's unprecedented Fleet Tuesday was boom. High bird tree, 2 first names, and boom.
You sure it's not Derrick Henry?
I'm positive. How would Boom work? Just because he runs over, he trucks over people?
Yeah,
And boom.
He brings the boom.
It's not Kevin James either for Here Comes the Boom. It's not a shout out to that. But
Kevin James. You know, when I hear the song "Here Comes the Boom," you know what I'm thinking the old Adam Sandler remake, football, Longest Yard, Nelly.
That is
Michael
the
Irvin.
exact needle drop I think of when I hear that song too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I try to forget that movie.
They introduced
What?
Nelly's character. He's fast. He's so fast he makes not fast guys look not fast. It's a great remake.
Yeah, it is. It was better than the original, probably.
Burt Reynolds disagree.
Burt Reynolds was in both of them. He credit.
Yeah, but he knows. I don't know which one's better, but a lot of people like the original. I haven't seen the original. But, okay. Baltimore, Seattle. No Baltimore lineup just yet. We talked about some of their guys going on the DL, so not the best lineup they're going to roll out today. Not a great ballpark to hit baseballs. George Kirby is supposed to be good. He hasn't shown it in his first 2 games. He's been mediocre or be kind. I can't remember what Dave wrote in his article the other day. If you want to be nice, say like instead of saying not good, I forget what it was, but it was a good line. No, never mind. We'll move on. We're going to edit that out in post. Kirby versus Cigano. Seattle's the favorite here. Cal Raleigh, he wants to stop. He can't stop. He cannot stop hitting home runs. He's the major league leader. It's outrageous. This ballpark subdues homers for everybody with the exception of Cal Raleigh. I think he's dumped 23 balls over the fence at this point. It's been absurd. Where do you have Seattle and Baltimore?
Yeah, Cal Raleigh. That's made the survey today. That's Stevie's under the radar home run call of the day. Props to Stevie for digging that one out. just a little Josh there. Don't worry. Don't get all uptight on me, guys. Listen. We're in Seattle. We got a bad hitting environment as always.
I was confirming. I just pulled that up. How is that an under the radar home run call? I do a show with him on Thursday. I will call him out on that. That's amazing.
Hey, don't mention my name though. Don't say I brought
I
it
definitely
to
won't say you brought this up to my attention.
Brought it to my attention. Baltimore is a tier 4 in this bad environment against George Kirby, and they just haven't been good on offense this year. Do not believe in Shigano. Don't believe in Sugar Bob. I don't think he's very good. Low K rate. I think he's like really flying over his head right now. That don't even make no sense, but I can only go so far with Seattle because it's such a bad hitter's park for home runs and everything, and I kind of want some of that power in my stacks. So as bad as I think he is, I've still got to stick with Seattle in tier 3 because there's just too many variables there going against an offense in this ballpark. But at some point we'll get a really good environment to stack against Shigano and we'll clean house, but not tonight.
All right, so Seattle, you got them in the what do you know, Chop? Another team right in the 3 spot. We got the Mariners in the 3 spot, and Baltimore hanging out with Brett Favre in the 4-hole. 3 more games to go. Crunch time coming out about 10 minutes or so. We have Derek Carty, Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth, and TJ will jump on and become an analyst. Let's see. San Diego taking on San Fran. Is this game happening? What?
He'll become
analyst.
Okay. Thought I heard something else.
I can't imagine what you thought you heard. Is this game really happening? Is this game on the slate? Is anybody playing anything from San Diego and San Francisco? Low ownership, yada, yada. It's from all 4 corners, Bergert, Roop, these 2 offenses, this ballpark. I don't think I'm playing anybody here. I only make so many lineups. I'm not saying you can't play Tatis, obviously. But, I do not anticipate getting anything here. Padres, Giants, what do you got?
Both are going to go in tier 4 and another very, very difficult hitters environment out here. Just like Seattle, just not good for home runs, not good for any of that good stack stuff. The pitching, like San Fran, Roop, I certainly don't want to pick on that in this kind of a park. And on the other side, maybe you might think you could pick on the San Diego starter, but at some point they're going to hit you with some good arms if they're live in that game. So it'll only be short-lived. It's a tier. Both of them are tier 4s.
All right, 2 more games to go. We did have a winner for today's Fleet Thursday. I do want to shout out in the Discord. It's me. Mallory took it down on the third clue, I believe. TJ, hopefully you got some RG premium or some scores and odds there. Let's go ahead. Chop, did you have any more guesses? I can give you a couple more clues.
Derrick Henry.
What if I said crab?
That would again Derrick Henry. Baltimore.
Because Baltimore.
Going for crab. Come on,
close enough. The Maine, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm lost there. I kind of checked out when you said there was a winner. So give me the scoop. I want to know what it is now.
Okay, so the first clue was pie. And the first clue is never a gimme. You got to connect some dots. You remember the movie? You've seen American Pie before. You're aware of the movie. I'm sure you've seen it before. There was a character in American Pie named the Shermanator. Sherman. Bird works for two things where this player went to college. They played for the Stanford Cardinal, and of course their professional career for the Seahawks, the Osprey. Tree, that was the most ridiculous mascot in all of college football, the Stanford Tree. Is there anything less intimidating than the tree standing on the sidelines?
That's another double clue too.
Is Tree a double clue? What's a double clue for Tree?
Because it could have been that, and also his most famous rivalry of his entire career was with Crabtree.
That's why I said crab. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I didn't even realize I was giving you Crabtree as well. But two first names, Richard and Sherman, and then Boom, of course, in reference to the Legion of Boom, the name of the defense.
Great nickname. Great nickname. Too.
Really good. Really strong. Right up there with Purple People Eaters, I think. Right up there. Pretty. Maybe we'll do that one day. We'll do like best nicknames for defensive units or something like that. Just overall team nicknames. So there you go. That was today's Fleet Tuesday. 2 more games to knock out. We got knockers. We have the BEP suggestion. We also have Spidey Bomb scrolling. Minnesota, the Athletics. Grant Holman is drawing the start for the Athletics. We don't know what's coming behind him just yet. But he's only going to pitch an inning or two, it appears, from what his game log is. And he pitched recently. Pablo Lopez on the other side. Biggest total on the board. You're locked in for 9 in this awesome ballpark. Buxton is probably the best play for cash. 5 ABs. Who's got a better shot of getting 5 ABs when you're on the road in the best ballpark and leading off? I presume all that stuff's going to be going down. Again, I'm checking the Twitter. Want to see if we have a lineup. Not just yet. Cole Reagans is starting for the Royals on Thursday. Okay. Mark your calendars. All right. Minnesota and the Athletics. What do you got?
Well, first, I'd like to say Brandon Wilcox brings up a great point in chat.
Okay.
American Pie as a clue would have been vague enough and very difficult to figure anything out. But you just gave us pie, which is even more.
It's the first clue.
1,000 times more vague. So, American Pie would have been a better clue, Dean.
Somebody might have got it in the first clue.
Nobody would have thought Shermanator.
Yeah.
But they would have thought, there's all the main characters. Stifler, it would have been Stifler, Stiffarm. They would have been
Tommy Stifler. Who's Stifler? Stifler's never played there's no Stifler in the history of the NFL or any.
That's
any
the
sports.
whole point. Is you're not. Your clues aren't. Nobody thinks Shermanator. Nobody there's American Pie would have been. I agree with Brandon on that one. American Pie would have been a better clue. Just a little bit to get us, funnel us in the right direction. You don't have to.
I feel like somebody might have binked it if I said American Pie.
No, nobody's binking. Nobody's guessing Shermanator. Nobody's guessing Shermanator with American Pie. Anyway, where are we at? Pablo Lopez, Oakland, Minnesota. This is a good offensive game for Minnesota. Oakland, I kind of don't like as much. So Oakland's going in tier 4. That's a tough matchup with that. Not just Pablo Lopez. But if they're trailing by a run, by 2 runs, or winning by a run or 2, 3 runs, you're going to get the good arms in the bullpen and probably have them. I have them rated as my number 1 bullpen in baseball. I don't know what everybody else says, but it's a really good bullpen. So I don't really want Oakland. Minnesota's. Do we have a tier 1 yet?
The Braves.
The Braves were not a tier 1 for me. The Braves were a tier 3.
TJ.
The Braves were a tier 3 against Zach Gallen. They were a tier 3.
Went rogue. Of course, it's everything is default to tier 3.
This is my only tier 1. Minnesota is my only tier 1 tonight.
Okay,
this is just a good. Just again, I would say this all year long until they fix it. The worst overall pitching staff in baseball that you're facing here. So I'll take a stack against them every night if I can.
By the way, shout out to you. You actually, your bold call, your like off the radar homer. You didn't pick a guy who's got 23 home runs in the season. You actually picked Ty France from this game. So, and I mentioned before I picked Max Kepler. That was my pick. Okay, knockers on layaway. We only got one clue for knockers, and it wasn't good enough for anybody to figure out. So
Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm gonna pull a Dean here. Jake Gyllenhaal. Ain't no way you're using that clue to guess the knockers. But, yeah.
This is clue 2, though. You're supposed to give me more on clue 2.
We started the game late. Let's get to this last one, Dean.
Mets, Dodgers, McGill. You were singing his praises earlier. Taking on the Dodgers. We do have bets back. Otani, Betts, Freeman, Teoscar, Will Smith, Muncy, Pajes, Conforto, and Kim. No Edman. Whatever's left of Clayton Kershaw throwing baseballs against the Mets. Where do we have the Metropolitans and the Dodgers?
Yeah, I said McGill was a really, really deep GPP if you want to go that route. But his numbers aren't bad. Like, he has a decent xFIP, decent Sierra, really strong K rate. He has some good numbers out there, but the problem is you're facing the Dodgers, and the Dodgers can be really tough on anybody. So, and I'm looking at the ownership of the Dodgers stacks tonight. Doesn't look very high at all. So I got to put the Dodgers in tier 2, and I'm going to put the Mets in tier 2 also. I think the Mets, Kershaw, yeah, he's not the same guy he used to be. So both of these teams are going to get up into the tier 2 category for me, both of them.
All right, both teams in tier 2. Going to get those knockers in a second. Also going to get the BEP suggestion of the day. Crunch time knocking on the door, coming in here shortly. Let's give the summary. We ranked, if you guys are joining us late, today's tier board. The category was athletes that are on the Madden cover. Madden cover athletes. Vic was in the number 1 hole. Minnesota, it's just the Minnesota Twins hanging out with him. The combination of Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald has the Yankees, the Phillies, St. Louis, the Mets, and the Dodgers. By the way, Chop, why did I pick Richard Sherman? Because he was also on the Madden cover. I picked another Madden cover guy. Just it all sort of ties in. Not an obvious one, but he was on the Madden cover like 10 years ago or so. Hanging out with Saquon Barkley. It's Toronto. It's Boston. It's everybody. It's the Angels. It's Arizona. It's Tampa, Detroit, KC, Seattle, and the Braves. Brett Favre has Cincinnati, Texas, the White Sox moving up to the 4 hole, Baltimore, San Diego, the Giants, and all the way down to the bottom, hanging out with Peyton Hillis. Yes, for real, he definitely was the cover boy on Madden. Cleveland and Milwaukee. Chop, knockers, BEP suggestion. What do you got for me?
Yeah. Kind of disrespectful to Peyton Hillis, to be honest. Do you know where you're treating him today? He had a great couple of years there.
He had a moment. Yeah. Sure.
So the BVP suggestion, that really, I'm not putting a whole lot of merit into this because a lot of these numbers were coming back really weird, with some of the pitchers going today, and they're a little bit long in the tooth, and some of these numbers don't stand up. There's just a lot going on. But if I could narrow it down to one for you, a suggestion, it would be Rob Refsnyder. Kind of okay. Everything's small sample, okay number, and just we'll go Refsnyder though. I want to give you something because yesterday I couldn't give you anything, and I hate to leave the people.
Oh, Refsnyder, no home runs.
Yeah, no. Well, that doesn't mean Dean. Again, you're looking at some basic stuff. What's the launch angle been on Refsnyder? That's what we're looking at. Launch angles, exit velocities, that type of stuff. It's okay. It's okay. We gotta play it now, Dean. I hate to do this one, but because I don't have a confirmed lineup, but my knockers have to come from this game. Droopy knockers, could be old knockers.
Minnesota?
Jake Gyllenhaal. I believe he starred in a movie called Southpaw one time. So old Southpaw. Clayton Kershaw is an old Southpaw. So we're gonna stack against Clayton Kershaw tonight with my knockers. I'm going the New York Mets. Don't have a confirmed lineup, so I'll give you Starling Marte, and I'll give you one cheap one, one expensive one. Marte, Lindor. There's my knockers.
I just want to confirm that you're telling me that the clue for the knockers wasn't the team that's actually you're rostering your knockers. It's the opposing pitcher who happens to be a lefty, and because of that, everybody knows that Jake Gyllenhaal starred in a boxing movie called Southpaw.
How's it feel?
I mean, that's horrific.
How does it feel?
It's a terrible clue.
You get a little taste of your own medicine.
Why not give me a New York clue?
I'm trying to give you a little taste of your own medicine to show you this American Pie thing, how absurd it is.
All right. I'm being told, by the way, that Crunch Time has been in the bullpen for like 10 minutes or so. I never got the signal. I never got the back signal. I never got the light. Nobody told me that the Crunch Time is here. But I guess Roth, he's chomping at the bit there in the chat as well. We got Carty coming in as well as TJ Zwarych. So let's go ahead. Let's do it. Let's transition to Crunch Time right now. Roth, the people want to know your weather report for Tampa, but St. Pete, but you're defending Chops. I see in the chat, you're saying it's a good clue. Chops says Southpaw somehow is supposed to get me to a couple of Mets.
I am attacking your clues more than I am defending Chop's clues, to be clear. That's exactly what you do. You come with pie as if anyone has any idea how that could mean a damn
clue
thing.
Number one, sir. Clue number one, sir. Do you see that clue number 5?
It's still supposed to be a clue, though.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
That's not what a clue means.
Just the fact that all the time, Dean, you're like, oh, that could actually be worth 2 clues. That shows you how wildly unspecific your clues are. Because your clues could be 8,000
or how good they are.
Things. They could be 8,000 different things, Dean. It's crazy.
I don't think you heard the clues. They were spectacular today.
The last ones were good, but it's
the last 4. The first one, I'm not spoon feeding. We're not giving it away for nothing. You know, you want the airplane, right. You can have the airplane. I'm not doing it.
It's your game, man. It's your game. You do you.
All right. People want to know about St. Pete's. Carty, everything good?
No, I was up in the bullpen. I was throwing. I sat back down. Now you want me to get back up again? I'm gonna pull a hammy or something. Come on, Dean.
The manager never gave me one of these. I never got anything. I didn't get a left. I didn't get a right.
Oh, plenty of people are giving you one of these all day long, bro. You just don't see it.
It's distinctly different motion. All right, the people. What are we googling here? What clue? What's happening here, DJ?
Just letting you know, just in case you had forgotten what it is, Dean.
I'm aware. I'm well aware of what we had a winner on 3. It just by some miracle, always somebody figures it out. I guess.
And for what it's worth, Dean, Kevin in the chat says your clues were good. Let him hate, Dean. And Jake says I thought you formulated good clues. So you've got some support in the chat.
There are some days where they're not great, especially the 1 hole. This was a good one today. It was actually a good one, in my opinion. But I guess I'm biased. All right. The people want to know about St. Pete. They want myself and Chop to get out of here. They've had enough of us. We've hit our quota. Do it that like button. Don't go anywhere. You got 40-plus minutes. Derek Carty, all warmed up. I'm ready to go. TJ Zwarych, one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, and the greatest. Not even a question, not even a conversation. The greatest DFS sports meteorologist of all time. It's Kevin Roth. Roth, take it away.
It's true. There's been 3 of us, and I am the best of the 3. What's up, everybody? Welcome to it. It's crunch time. You know the drill. We're going to take you up to lock. We might take you through lock. Hitters, pitchers, weather, all that jazz. 2 of the sharpest minds in the biz joining us as well. We got the aforementioned Derek Carty, inventor, creator, CEO of the Bat and the BatX Enterprises. What up, Carty? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now you got me thinking about the other weather guys. Is that one annoying guy on Twitter still a thing?
Nah, he quit. That guy really pissed me off. He was so rude. He's just
he really was.
He was always a dick to me for no reason. Like we don't need that.
Oh, jealousy, Roth. I mean, as a handsome man, you should be used to it.
That's true. That's a good point. And then there was a girl who did it for like 6 months, and she would just literally copy and paste my forecast. It was
I missed that entirely.
Oh, that was like 10 years ago. But that was always fun. It would literally just copy paste my words word for word. I would sometimes do a fake one just to see. Yep. She put that out there. Anyways, TJ Zwarych in the house as well. What up, TJ?
I'm frustrated because StreamYard's not letting me put you in the middle, Roth, and it's bothering me that you are not in the middle, but it's not letting me slide you around. So you are on the side of the screen instead of in the middle, and it's probably going to bother me the entire show.
Okay. Well, now you feel my pain because you can't point at who you like. If I point this way, am I pointing to you guys?
No.
No.
That's everybody's pain, though.
Well,
That's just that's what mirrors are like.
I don't understand, and I'm a weatherman. I should know the whole reverse, backwards, green screen nonsense, but I don't. All right. Anyways, happy to have you guys on. We do have to talk weather. Derek says Roth will still point in the wrong direction. Yes, that is confirmed. It's backwards. I don't get it. Everybody wants to know the weather, and I've got some good news there. Every game is fine except Tampa. So if you just don't want any drama, you can literally play any game other than Tampa. The bad news is that I don't think anybody has any idea what's going to happen in Tampa, including the Rays, maybe most importantly. You just, in these setups, you just try to play when it's dry, and then maybe they may have to late start. They may delay. You just don't know. I don't know. They don't know. No one freaking knows. I'll say it looks as good as it could, considering the amount of rain around. And if you made me guess if it's going to play or not, I guess, sure. But I have such low confidence in that I think the smart play is to just, don't play it if you don't have to. And if you want to stack it up and you realize there's a lot of risk, then go for it. Is that okay? Can we do that? Carty?
I think that's fine. I don't think there's anyone you have to have in that game. So
Great.
You can certainly, in tournaments, stack it up if you want to take the risk. If not, whatever. I'm good with it.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just no way to have any real confidence in these setups. And by the way, there's going to be a lot of these for the rest of the year in Tampa. TJ, does that work for you? Just if you want to stack it, go for it. If not, maybe don't play these guys as one-offs or don't play them in cash.
Yeah, it's a 12-game slate. I don't think we really need it, so I just X'd out the game in its entirely.
Cool. I like that. I'll keep you up to date, including after the show, because the game starts weirdly a little later than lock. So I'll keep you up to date. I'll let you know. We'll see. We'll check TARP, and I'll watch your radar and try to do all that, but we'll do the best we can. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the pitchers. Carty, I like to let you lead us off when we talk pitchers. I don't know. It's a bat thing. What is the bat telling us?
We got a big slate today. We don't have any pitchers that are like amazing, but we have a bunch that I think you can definitely mix and match in tournaments. In terms of like who the best are, they're not like above everyone by a lot, but I think it's kind of Kirby, Strider, and Carlos Rodon in that top tier. Maybe Pablo Lopez with them. Rodon's the most expensive, though. He's 10.3K, and he's facing what is a fairly low K Cleveland offense. For me, I would rather, I think, just play Kirby and Strider. Strider's fully stretched out. Kirby, not quite yet. I'm actually surprised that Kirby is projected for as much ownership as he is. He's been bad in his 2 starts back from the IL. It does mostly look like just kind of bad luck. I'm not overly concerned about him. If anyone's like, oh, I can't play Kirby. You can play Kirby today. The matchup's solid against Baltimore. It's in Seattle, so it's a park downgrade for Baltimore. Some of the better pitching weather of the day. You do have other names on this slate, though. Like you have Pablo Lopez against the A's. You have Hunter Green against Milwaukee. You have Freddie Peralta. Like you have a bunch of guys here that are all certainly viable. I think the ones, though, that are going to pick up the most ownership are those top 3. To get different from them, the guys that I like the most are kind of going cheaper away from those other, name type guys like Brian Bayo, I think, Yusei Kikuchi, Drew Rasmussen. Those are the types of guys that I think I have the most interest in tournaments. And that will make your build different than everyone else who's running, 2 of these, 6 aces that we have on the slate.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to add? Maybe specifically on FanDuel, where you only get 1?
I kind of think you take the discount with Kirby. I don't think he'll be as popular on FanDuel as he is on DK. But he's 8K. Rodon's 10.7. Strider's 9.2. Pablo's 9.8. Green's 9.7. Peralta's 9.3. Like, just give me an 8K Kirby, I think. You don't need the salary on FanDuel, but he projects the best anyway. The only concern is just like, is he really back to himself yet, or is he just going to get rocked? Which is possible. It's possible, but I think I just roll with him.
You don't think you have any concern he probably can't get the quality start over on FanDuel?
You don't think Kirby can get a quality start?
Just like assuming he's still at like 85 pitches.
Yeah, I think he's above that. I haven't projected at 90 today. Yeah, I mean, less of a chance of a quality start, but I still think there's a shot he gets there, and it's more than baked into the price.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, your favorites when you look at these pitchers, you got a lot to choose from.
And I'm just realizing now that can the viewers see the SimLabs that I'm screen sharing right now?
I can see it. Why couldn't they?
Okay, it's not up on one of the screens I'm looking at right now. So it's I'm having all kinds of StreamYard troubles. But if you guys can see it, I don't care. That's all good with me. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the full fade of George Kirby today. I don't want to play a guy into ownership who's been really, really bad since he came back. And I agree with Carty. It's not like his velocity's down or anything like that. He probably should be fine. I would just rather play him when he's sneaky as opposed to on a 12-game slate when he's going to be popular. When in his 2 starts back, he hasn't gone over 80 pitches yet. He's had -7 fantasy points and -10 fantasy points. So he's been getting hit real hard since he's been back. I'm going to take the wait and see approach for when he's not highly owned. Carlos Rodon is by far my top option today. I'm going to have about 60% of him. Good matchup against Cleveland. Cleveland has a couple good low strikeout bats at the top, and we usually think of them as a low strikeout team, but that's not really them anymore. So he's my number 1, Hunter Green my number 2, and then I'm just taking a bunch of SP2 shots. I do want to play Strider at that cheap price tag, but he's still sitting at about 2-3 miles per hour below his regular velocity. So that isn't the same Spencer Strider that we've known and just jammed in at whatever price tag over the last few years. I do think he can probably get back up there, but he hasn't really shown that yet. And then the sub 8K guys I'm willing to take shots on: Landon Roop, Andre Palante, and Yusei Kikuchi. Palante, because it's the Royals and he gets a ton of ground balls. I could see him weaseling his way through 7 innings, even if it's only with 3 or 4 Ks. Kikuchi, because Boston's lineup against lefty is pretty terrible. I don't like the weather. I don't like the ballpark. I don't like basically anything other than the lineup he's facing. And so I am still playing some Kikuchi. And then Roop, again, I don't like the matchup, but sub 10% in a good ballpark, and he's got a pretty high K rate. So I'm okay with trying him in tournaments too.
Okay, good stuff, TJ. Did see Tyler in the chat says 150 likes, ! Which I assume means we've gotten there. And what I assume means he wants a Spidey bomb, TJ.
I mean, yeah, I usually need like a second, like I just finished, so I gotta kind of
I'll let you.
Give me go Carty stacks, and then I'll hit, and then I got you guys.
That's what I was gonna do. Hey, if I point down, are you guys below me, or is it also backwards that way?
That works right now because of the screen share up. That works.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to check if I'm always pointing the wrong way in all directions. Okay, Carty, talk to me about your favorite stacks. What are we doing here? Is there a chalky stack that we like?
I don't think any stack is going to be overly chalky tonight. I'm curious if TJ disagrees with me. Like, it looks like the Twins, maybe a little, but overall, it seems like it's going to be kind of a spread out slate. You don't have to do a ton to be different on this slate because you can just kind of play whatever you want. That being said, like half the slate, more than half the slate is well within viable playing territory. The Dodgers, I think, are the most interesting because they project the best because they're the Dodgers and they're really expensive and it's a big slate with a bunch of expensive pitchers. So like, again, ownership doesn't matter a whole lot tonight, but the Dodgers, like people really aren't going to play much of, and they are the best team. Aside from them, the Twins are great, obviously. In cash, you're going to have some Twins, but for tournament purposes, I would much rather go with teams like Detroit, Philly. I think you're going to get some good prices on KC and Boston tonight. And I don't mind picking on some of these aces. You don't have to, but a team like the Brewers projects well enough against Green where, the leverage you get against him is kind of just gravy. So I'm okay doing that.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, a Spidey bomb and a stack.
Yes, sir. So the next Spidey bomb I am going with today, batting fifth today for the Twins at plus 600 is Willie Castro. I like going to guys in those like spots where it's hot and the wind is blowing out. I like those guys who aren't power guys, because the power guys are going to hit the home run anyways.
I think so all the time, TJ. Yes.
Yeah, probably going to get would regularly get a fly out. Those are the ones that might get a home run today. So Willie Castro in the nice batting spot. We don't know who for sure is coming into bulk relief. If anybody is, we're thinking probably Osvaldo Bido, maybe Jacob Lopez,
Hogan Harris,
probably Bido. But why not pick a switch hitter so it doesn't really care? So it doesn't really matter. We know their bullpen is terrible. So let's just throw in the switch hitter so we don't have to worry about it. Plus 600, Willie Castro. I agree 100% with what Carty said, that we really don't have to worry about chalk tonight. No one is going to be aggressively over-owned in terms of stacks. Minnesota will be the highest owned for sure, but they're also the highest implied run total and the top stack on the slate. So they kind of should be. But even then, they're still not projecting for they don't have a single player projecting for more than 20%. So we don't have to worry about that. Phillies I love as a mini stack just because Bowden Francis is horrific against lefties, but actually pretty good against righties. So I would rather just, do some Kepler, Schwarber, Harper against him as opposed to probably the full stack. But my favorite on the board is Atlanta. Zach Gallen has just been absolutely horrific this season. They're going to be my highest owned stack, followed by Minnesota. And then just in case George Kirby is broken, since he's chalky, I am going to play a lot of Baltimore in tournaments today. I like the Detroit call. I like the Athletics, Dodgers, and then St. Louis is very interesting as well. We end up kind of sneakily ended up with St. Louis being the best weather spot of the night in terms of hitting.
Yeah. Hot, winds blowing out to 10, 15 miles per hour to left. All in all, pretty good stuff there. Okay, very good. I am tweeting an update right now on the weather. This is as good as it could have really worked out for Tampa. So I do think they probably end up playing this game. I would say I still have pretty low confidence in that. But if you ask me, do I think they're going to play? The answer is yes. If you ask me, am I confident about it? No, I'm not. But I do think they probably figure out a way to play. Okay, that's where I'm at with that. Let's go around the horn. Talk position by position. TJ, you can start us off with some catcher talk.
All right. Catcher position today is your question is the big dumper on the slate, Cal Raleigh? Yes, he is. And he's going to be sneaky today, Roth, projected for under 5% ownership.
Ridiculous.
It's not a very good matchup. It's a bad ballpark, and it doesn't matter because it's Cal Raleigh. Yep. And so if you can spend up for him, a phenomenal tournament play today. My favorite is going to be Drake Baldwin. I mentioned loving that Atlanta stack. I think the optimal choice, like if you're playing cash today, it's Ryan Jeffers. He will be the highest owned guy, but I think he's the best play as well. I like Alejandro Kirk either in a Jays mini stack or as a one-off. Outside of that, it's only in stacks for me. So Jeffers, Rowley, Langoliers, Baldwin, Kirk, and then everybody else.
Yeah, good stuff. Carty, catcher.
Mostly agree. Jeffers and cash. I do think you can make a case for Salvador Perez. I think he's really good today too. I agree on the GPP stuff. Raleigh. I think Will Smith as well is a really good GPP play tonight. Again, I think the Dodgers are just, people are going to overlook them because of prices and whatnot. And then Wilson Contreras against Hunter Green, I love for tournaments. Nobody's going to play him. He's a little expensive, but they're in Cincinnati. He's probably the best hitting catcher in baseball, and Hunter Green is not the model of consistency. So I like Contreras quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a good take. All right, first base, Carty.
Shohei Ohtani is the best by a lot. If you can get to Ohtani, great. I do think he'll be owned, but I don't think he'll be crazy owned tonight. So I really, really like Ohtani. Pete Alonso on the other side of that game, I think looks really good. Kershaw is not the guy he used to be, unfortunately. You have the other, the ownership's kind of going to be split though, I think, between like, there's like a bunch of other of those like 5K guys that are all good, like Harper and Freeman and Vlad, and like they're all fine. If you want to save money, I think the two guys that I'm interested in are Rami Gonzalez hitting cleanup for Boston and Miguel Vargas hitting third for the White Sox. White Sox are at home. It's a good power park. It's also good weather there. It's the lowest air density of the day, according to the feed that I get. So I like that spot.
Okay. I just want to let you know you have angered the chat and your friend meteorologist by saying anyone other than Cal Raleigh is the best hitting catcher in baseball.
Yeah, all right. You're probably right.
You can be second though, or third, but not first. Yeah.
No, I'm good with that.
Wow.
I
figured you were going to fight me for that.
Cal Raleigh MVP ticket, so I'm liking what he's doing.
Okay, I approve of that. All right, TJ, your thoughts at first.
Shohei is the guy for me when I can get up to him. I think he's probably going to be among the lower ownership. We'll get to see him on a slate, especially one of this size. So Tyler Soderstrom, another guy like Matt Olson, Ryan O'Hearn. This is a position that I'm looking to be getting fairly different today. So Soderstrom, Olson, O'Hearn are going to be my favorite tournament guys. I also really like Wilson Contreras. And then Vlad Jr. For tournaments as well, I think is in a really nice spot.
Okay, good stuff. Let's go to second base.
Second base, Willie Castro, Spidey Bomb, my guy today. He is going to be my highest owned here, followed by Jackson Holiday. I don't love the full Baltimore side, but those lefties, specifically Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn, those are going to be the three I'm targeting the most. Outside of that, it's literally just players in my stack. Those are the only two I'm wanting off. Max Schumann, Ernie Clement, Brooks Lee, Ozzy Albies, Nolan Gorman. Pretty gross position that I will not be playing any of outside, like wanting off at all outside of Holiday and Castro.
Yeah. Okay. Carty, second base. I think. Yeah.
I like Holiday and Castro. Maybe Holiday not quite as much, but I definitely like Castro a lot. Jonathan India for 200 less, I think, is a really good value. He's not done a whole lot this year. Has not done a whole lot lately, but I'm waiting for the bounce back. The price is right. The matchup is solid. We mentioned the weather in St. Louis. I like India today. Gleyber Torres and Bryson Stott I like for tournaments, and that's second base.
Okay, very good. Take me to third.
The high end isn't like great today. As much as some people seem to really like Atlanta, like I know on the last show they were the A tier, and I know TJ said he really likes Atlanta. Like I kind of think they're just fine. Like I'm not going out of my way to get Austin Riley against Gallen. Devers lefty against Kikuchi is not great. Jose Ramirez against Rodon is not great. I think I'm just punting the position. Like Miguel Vargas, if you're not playing him at first, he's 3-1. You can play him here at third. You can play Royce Lewis, who's been ice cold, but he's still hitting the ball hard. He's still, he's getting unlucky. So I'm good with Royce Lewis for 3-3. I'm good with Max Muncy for sure in that Dodgers lineup, and Matt Chapman always in play for a home run.
Okay, I think that takes us to third base, and if we just TJ's thoughts at third. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Austin Riley going to be my top guy here in a really, really weak position. I think I'd go Riley 1, Muncy 2, but one guy that I really like because most people haven't realized that he's been playing really, really well, and that's Addison Barger for the Blue Jays, only 3K. Been hit, pardon me, hitting the ball super, super hard, and batting fifth today. So I like him quite a bit, even in the lefty-lefty matchup. Jazz Chisholm finally back in the lineup for the Yankees. And then Royce Lewis, hopefully people don't go there because he's batting eighth. And like Carty said, the what's it called? The game log looks horrible, but he's just been absolutely smashing the ball. Like I was looking through the MLB exit velocity Twitter page that RotoGrinders or Better Collective, somewhere in that blanket runs.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like one game that he finished with a 0, but had 3 barrels. 3 of his 4 at bats were barrels, and he just lined out directly into a guy's glove. So it's going to be coming.
Okay, very good. Take me to shortstop.
Gunnar Henderson is going to be my favorite here, as I say every day, but sub 5K Gunnar Henderson just isn't how it should be. This is another guy that's been hitting the ball super hard and has been getting unlucky. So I'm going to keep playing some Gunnar until his price is back to normal, especially against a chalky Kirby. Carlos Correa looked like he was going to be the chalk, and he still, if you look at lineup HQ, he's got the rainbow of dots. But this is when everybody was planning for him to be playing against Jacob Lopez, a soft toss and left-handed pitcher who Correa absolutely crushes lefties. So he's still fine. It's great weather, a terrible bullpen. He's only 3,700. He's still totally fine, but maybe he's going to be going a little overowned because he's not in as great of a spot as he was earlier in the day. If I'm not playing those two, I really like Bobby Witt, who's underpriced. Francisco Lindor, who's been mashing the ball lately. Betts is fine. Dela Cruz is fine. Bo Bichette is fine. My sneaky guy for tournaments that I really like is Zach Neto going up against Brian Bale.
Okay, very good.
It's pronounced Neto. Zach Neto.
Rafael Devers.
Devers and Neto. Carty, your thoughts is short.
Bobby Witt Jr. is, I think, far and away the best play. I like him a lot. I think he's kind of a priority guy in cash. Correa is fine, but like TJ said, the matchup's maybe not as good as originally thought. Out of all the top guys, I think Witt is clearly the best. Like Lindor, Ellie, Turner, Mookie, they're all fine. But Witt's the guy that I want. If you are saving money, I think Correa is the guy you probably do it with. I think Bo Bichette also looks fine. And if you want to go 2K Ronnie Mauricio for the Mets, making his debut tonight, he's a legit prospect. He's facing Kershaw, but it's 2K, and you're giving up a lot by not playing one of the top guys. But there's theoretically some talent there, and the price is right, and it will make your lineup very different.
Okay, good stuff. Let's go to the outfield, Carty.
Ohtani, like at first, is the top option here. I like him a lot. Byron Buxton's probably going to be the chalkiest guy on this slate. I'd rather find the extra money for Ohtani personally. But Buxton is good. Again, not as good maybe as we thought earlier. But I like Buxton. I like Kyle Schwarber quite a bit for a homer tonight. I think the Milwaukee guys are really sneaky in tournaments. I mentioned, William Contreras earlier and how, a stack against Green is not out of the question. Like Yelich and Chorio here, I think are a little underpriced, and I like them quite a bit. I like Brent Rooker quite a bit. In terms of cheaper stuff, Parker Meadows is, I think, the obvious mid-range guy. He's 3.7. He's hitting leadoff. He's in Chicago. He's against Shane Smith. He's kind of like almost a cash lock, I feel like. Willie Castro, if you're not playing him at second, really good in the outfield. And his teammates, Trevor Larnach and obviously Buxton and Harrison Bader, I think, are all in play too.
Yeah. Okay. TJ, your favorite team in the outfield?
How am I supposed to do the outfield after seeing Kirkwood's comment?
Gee, I didn't need that, Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber,
right.
The number one guy here for me by a fairly wide margin. Bowden Francis is just absolutely horrific against left-handed bats, and Kyle Schwarber is the second best left-handed power bat in all of baseball. So great Schwarber spot. I would now prioritize him over Buxton. It was Buxton for me earlier in the day when he was facing a lefty. Now he's facing a righty, probably a plethora of righties, and so I would go with Schwarber over Buxton if I'm only choosing one. Sneaky spend up. I love Ronald Acuna tonight. I have a parlay bet for all three of those guys to hit a home run, Schwarber, Buxton, and Acuna. Mike Trout is still way too cheap. Max Kepler is a cheap option that I really like. Speaking of lefties going up against Bowden Francis. Both Detroit guys, Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green. Let's see if my new set of builds is done yet. Not quite yet, but I will tell you a few more cheap options since all I really gave out was Kepler and Parker Meadows. Other cheap guys I like today, Tyler Soderstrom at 4,100 on DK. Marcelo Zuna is too cheap. And then Christian Yelich, I think, probably takes Christian Yelich is probably going to take Hunter Green deep tonight.
Okay. There you go. Get a little hot take. Hey, do the people want more Spidey bombs, TJ? What do they got to do to get them?
We got 3 scrolling at the bottom already. Max Kepler, Gunnar Henderson, Willie Castro. 4th one at 200 likes. We are 25 likes away.
Matt bringing up Jack Caglione. He's all over social media. Everyone's excited. It's his debut, right? That's this kid.
That's him.
Well, you said hard pass. What's up?
He's a rookie that everyone's excited about. Pass.
Oh,
I don't want
like the ownership is going to be up here, and the
ownership will be up there. The expectations for how good he is are probably higher than he actually is. Like hitting homers off of AAA and AA hit pitchers is a lot harder than major league pitchers. Like he's got power. He's a real prospect. I don't think you certainly don't need him from like an optimal cash perspective tonight. And if any amount of people take him just because of the buzz, you're probably not getting any sort of like game theory discount on him in tournaments. So just I'll pass. It's not like he's really cheap either. Like he's 3.5K. It's not like he's 2.5.
Yeah. Okay. This is all makes a lot of sense. People are calling you a party pooper, but it does.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's kind of my whole shtick. Rookies suck and I hate them, and you should too.
Yeah. He's a righty masher for what it's worth, Carty.
Sure he is.
The rumor mill is telling us. All right. Let's see what we got here. We're 12, 13 minutes here until lock. That should be plenty of time to give some home run picks. So I'd like you to both think long and hard about your favorite home run calls. Carty, that's mostly you, as TJ has already given us some Spidey bombs. And I want to give the people something. It's the MLB DFS annual option for $425, but we dropped the price of our Combo Pro to mirror the MLB package, so you get all the sports for the price of baseball. You can't beat that. You're actually saving 35% by choosing 6 month instead of going month by month. So sign up. MLB projections, NBA content, PGA data, of course, NFL right around the corner. So make sure you are signing up. Let's talk some home runs. I'm going to let Carty go first and see if we can get a 4th Spidey bomb while we wait. Carty, what do you like?
I like Schwarber the most for a home run. I think Rooker's going to be too under the radar tonight. He definitely has a really good shot. And then super under the radar, I think pretty much any Milwaukee Brewer. William Contreras, Rhys Hoskins, Yelich, and anybody. In terms of betting, most of the odds have moved since this morning. Like a bunch of those Philly guys, that whole game projected really well earlier. And it's like almost all, like the lines have moved so much. I don't see much that's worth betting at this point in home runs.
Okay, fair enough.
TJ.
Schwarber to hit 2.
Schwarber to hit 2.
Nice. You bet it, TJ, for real?
I did, for real, yeah.
What was the price?
I think it was 15 to 1.
Okay.
Like
That's
nothing that good, but he's gonna do it, so it's fine.
Just fun. Yeah. All
He's
right.
gonna hit 4. So I figured I might as well get it a little bit of attach. I did, like, for what it's worth, I think I did $3 on it. So it's okay if it goes poorly.
Fun bet.
But yeah, it's 3 Spidey bombs, Max Kepler, Gunnar Henderson, Willie Castro. We are still unfortunately short, which means chat. We need 15 more people to hit the like button. That should be easy. There's over 1,200 people watching in total, over 600 people watching on YouTube. Should be nice and easy for 20 more people to give that like button a little click. So go ahead, like it, and hopefully after some QQs, we can get one more Spidey bomb for you.
Okay, I think we can do that. I'll give one final weather update here in Tampa, keeping in mind that Tampa does not start at lock. It starts, I want to say 20, 30 minutes after lock. I really like what I'm seeing on radar, which I didn't expect an hour ago or certainly this morning. I think the game plays. At any moment, something could pop up and they could have to delay. But just what I'm looking at right now, I don't think that's very likely because there's light rain about to move into Tampa, which is great. because that will stabilize the atmosphere a little bit and hopefully keep any thunderstorms away. That is my hope. And that is my current expectation. So I've lowered the risk to a little yellow-orange over there on the RotoGrinders page. And I think they're going to play. Rocket Sauce says, does that mean pitchers are safe? And again, absolutely not safe, but I do think it'll work out probably for pitchers. But if you're looking for safe, that ain't it. So pick literally any other game. Let's get to some QQs, see what we got starting in the Discord, because that's where the cool kids hang out. DK Cash question for you, Carty, from J. Crew. Jeffers Fry or Wong and Romy Gonzalez?
Jeffers and Romy Gonzalez is the pair you want. Who was Jeffers with?
Fry.
Do Wong and no, do Jeffers. That's fine.
Okay, very good. DK Cash pitchers, Carty. If you're doing, I know there's a lot of different ways you can kind of attack this. It doesn't seem like there's a clear 2 cash dudes, but what would you do?
Yeah, I don't think there's a right answer tonight. I think Kirby Strider is the way I would go. They're kind of a step lower price-wise than the other aces. They project well. They have more question marks. So like they're not as safe, which people love, but I'll take the discount on them.
Yeah. Does Strider still have that upside, or because he lost a few miles per hour, is like the 10+K upside gone from that dude?
No, that's still there. And also he's coming back from injury. Like that velocity could theoretically come back at any point. Like he's still kind of building up, and it's not like he's throwing 88. Like he still has good stuff.
Yeah. He's only played 2 games, so we assume he is going to be fine again.
Okay. I mean, I love that dude. Like is he, and he's fully stretched out?
Yeah, he threw I think 95 pitches last start, so he's good to go.
I know nothing about baseball, but I know I would play that dude tonight. That much I do know. Okay. Let's see. Getting into YouTube. Make sure you hit us with the thumbs up so we can get that 4th Spidey bomb, by the way. We will go to Brennan's question here. TJ, this one's for you. Straight up on DK, Real Muto and Larnack, or Salvi Perez and Bryson Stott?
Real Muto and Larnack.
K-Town's Finest says, TJ, Shane Smith thoughts? Is that crazy for Smith, Bayo, and big bats in a tournament? So maybe that's 2 separate questions. No.
Yeah, I'm running 150 lineups, and I have 0% Bayo and 0% Smith.
Oh, okay. That is a good answer. Scrolling down. Here we go. FanDuel, Carty, this is for you from Chris. Riley Green and Schwarber, or Carp and Ohtani?
Wow. I'd probably take Carpenter and Ohtani. I mean, I know
facial expressions today have been top notch.
It's hard. Like Schwarber, you want Schwarber, but I still think Ohtani's better, and you're getting a decent guy with him. Like I'd have to check, but I would imagine that projects a little better.
Yeah. Okay. Paul says, Carty, can you pull up the pinch hit risk and tell me the top 3 Twins pinch hit risk, please?
I can do that. So top 3 for the Twins are not that high. Denzel Clark, 14%. Max Schumann, 13%. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong. No, those are on the A's. Sorry. I'm like, that's not right. The highest is Royce Lewis at 10%. There's like no pinch hit risk on the Twins tonight, really.
Very good. Okay. Hammer says Kevin Roth, best weatherman in the business. Damn right. Also the only one, which makes it fairly easy. Johnny Utah says TJ, DK single entry 3v3, Real Muto, Turner, Bomb, or Jeffers, De La Cruz, and Lewis.
Second one. If you're playing Phillies tonight, like there's nothing wrong with the Phillies stack. They're one of the top stacks. Prioritize the lefties. I know they're expensive, but like Bowden Francis is above average against righties, and he is by far the worst pitcher in baseball against lefties. So like Schwarber, Stott, Harper, Kepler are the priorities, and then like I would probably rather play a super cheap, crappy Brandon Marsh than spend up for one of the righties on that stack.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Let's see. FanDuel Cash, TJ, coming right back to you. Olsen or Harper at first. Is that Harper? based on what you just said.
Yeah, wasn't that a cash question? For what it's worth, I don't think either of those guys, unless I misread it. I thought I saw that earlier. I don't think play either of them in cash, but of the two, Harper for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's scroll down a little bit and let me double check that Discord. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up. Here we go. Bean in the Discord says FanDuel GPP. Carty, this is for you. Jeffers Castro or Mauricio and Bo Bichette. FanDuel GPP.
The first one I think is better. It'll be higher owned, so it kind of depends on the rest of your lineup, but I like that one more.
Okay. Carty, right back to you. FanDuel GPP as well. Bybee or Kikuchi?
I'm not in love with either tonight. I guess Bybee.
Okay. DK cash question, TJ. Tauchman or India?
Tauchman.
Peter says DK tournament. Which Phillies would you stack, and would Kepler be in that stack? That's kind of just what we went through, right?
Yes, and load up on the lefties.
Yeah, very good. DK cash, TJ. Right back to you. Kirby, Alonso, or Green and Soderstrom?
Green Soderstrom.
Scrolling down just a little bit more. Favorite Alpha Flight superhero, TJ. Do we know who these people are? Are these real people?
Yeah, it's the Canadian super team that was just like very Canadian tropey. So it's like they fight in cold weather, and one of them has hockey powers, and one of them. I'm not a big Alpha Flight fan personally.
Okay, is one of them Sabretooth? Is he Canadian?
Sabretooth is Canadian, as is Wolverine, as is Deadpool. None of them are members of Alpha Flight.
Oh, okay, well, that makes things difficult for me because I don't know anyone in there. All right.
One's name is literally Puck.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Does he like hit? Is the superpower like he's in hockey gear and he shoots hockey pucks at people?
Pretty much, I think.
Jesus. Yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry.
I have not read many Alpha Flight comics. I've more just like seen them, and when they cameo in something, they're more used as like as like for a laugh as opposed to for serious. But according to Wikipedia, Puck has originally had no superhuman powers, relying on his exceptional training and his amassed worldly knowledge. So yeah, he just shoots hockey pucks at people.
Wow, he's literally the worst superhero ever. Okay. Carty, do you like stacking the Mets against Kershaw?
I don't mind it. Yeah, they project pretty well tonight. Couple teams I probably like more, but they're definitely one of the ones that I'd be looking at.
Okay, Carty, Rodon and Rasmussen as a pairing in DK Cash.
You can.
Would you probably say you would suggest no Tampa pitcher for cash, Roth?
Oh yeah, that's a.
Let me just like.
I mean, I'd rather play Kirby Strider anyway.
I think you can do it weather-wise. Like, I think it'll work out, but it's not the safe play. So, you know.
I put him back. I originally wasn't going to play Rasmussen, but I bumped him up to my fourth highest owned pitcher.
Wow.
Just because, like, to me, he was the top SP2 for his price. And so, assuming weather is going to be back good, I had 0%. I bumped it up to 20%. So, Rodon, Green, Strider, the only three I have more of.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Jumping in here. Oh, you know what? Blink says, I miss Carty's pitcher takes. Carty, am I burning money if I use Kershaw as an SP2 in a large field GPP?
I kind of think so. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Do we know who the bulk relief guy for the Tigers is? I feel like we discussed that briefly earlier in the show.
Good questions, Brett. It's Bo Brieski or whatever his name opening. Who is behind him? I'm blanking.
TJ, any idea?
What's right? I was talking comics in chat.
You're good. The bulk relief guy for the Tigers is.
Oh, no. I do not know who the bulk reliever for the Tigers is. I think we're expecting it to be a full bullpen game, not a bulk relief's appearance for somebody.
Okay. Okay. Has Carty ever sported a Burr haircut? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Is that like is that something the youth talk about?
It seemed like it. Like brr, I don't know. It's
got to be like a cool word to mean something, and I don't know what it is.
But also it's Showboat King, and I think he's in his 60s, but he is kind of cool. So maybe he knows what the kids are up to. Let's see. TJ, we hit the lock, actually. We hit the lock. Good stuff. If you are planning on playing Tampa, please check my Twitter before that game. Was it 35 after when it goes off or 25? Let me see. What time's that game at? Am I on drugs? 35 after. There it is. Make sure you check my Twitter in case something's popping up, and then we can make a pivot. But right now, I think it looks pretty good in that Tampa game. With that, we're going to clear on out of here. So for TJ, for Carty, and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You